We're gonna talk about something, man. And disclaimer, I might have been a tad bit wrong about Michael B. Jordan. You know what I'm saying? We were looking at the things he was doing, and he was doing them for Lori Harvey, who had been, she's been moving around a little bit. So we kind of looked at him, man, and said, man, that he was about to, give up everything and lose everything. But you know what? He jumped off the porch and saved himself. He didn't do it. He wanted to. He wanted her to be the one that he could settle down with, man, the one that he could do the one thing that you must do if you're going to be in a serious relationship with a woman. There's one thing you must do. You got to stop chasing your dreams so hard. You got to stop getting to the money so fervently. You got to stop focusing all your time, energy, and effort on building yourself to the most alpha version of yourself because now you got a woman to think about too. And it looks like he was going down that path with Lori Harvey. And up until this point, nobody had spoken except Steve, Margie, us. Mike hadn't said anything. But now Mike speaks. And I'm going to be honest with you. What he says is a wake up call to all of us so we can remember that we too have experienced, are experiencing, or will experience a time in our lives where we'll meet a woman and wonder if she's the one that we should make that sacrifice for. Now, if you have done it already, you know what I'm talking about. Some of you are doing it now. You know what I'm talking about. If you haven't done it yet, trust me, you build yourself up enough, you're gonna come across that woman who seems like she might be the one who fits into that round hole that you have into your life. But you gotta pay attention and you gotta be sure that she's worth the sacrifice. And most times you find out she's not, and you do what Michael B. Jordan has done. You do what I've done several times in life. You do what Diddy has done. You do what Future has done. You do what, you name a man, he's done it. But then you look at the men who didn't do it. You look at the Will Smiths who didn't do it, should have. You look at the Dr. Dre's, didn't do it, should have. Antoine Patton, Big Boy, Outkast, he did it for 20 years. Ended up being over anyway. You see what I'm saying? There were men who should have done it who didn't. So I can't look at the men who did it. I can't look at a man who was engaged to Sierra and said, nah, this ain't me. I can't look at a man who had Kim Porter, man, in the house with all his children, just like his wife, but never crossed that line. Any man who marries a woman and gets divorced, at the end of that divorce, at the end of that marriage, he has to ask himself, was it worth the time, effort, and energy that I put into it? Was it worth it? We're going to juxtapose this against 10 things that you should never give your woman. He's going to cover some of these things when he talks. Then we're going to talk about the rest of them. So let's take a listen to Michael B. and then we'll dive back into this thing, man.
I think I've sacrificed love for like I put myself on hold. Like I think I put my self-love to things that like on hold because of the things that I want to accomplish. It was hard for me to do both. And right now it's like, all right, let's do this one first and then I'll get to me later. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm good, I'm fine. I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm trying to set up these things, I'm trying to take care of the people I care about, I'm trying to take care of the people that I do love. It was hard for me to like be able to give myself fully to like and be open enough to find love and have love and still feel like I was working as hard as I needed to work. And I haven't found a way to blend the two yet. That's what I'm searching for.
When you think about what he just said, it's the dilemma that we all face. You see, part of the problem is in this society, we've been raised to believe that we get the money, build ourselves to the best version of ourselves, and the completion of that is to have a wife. But the completion of that is not to have a wife. The completion of that is to create a legacy and leave sons behind who can carry on your name, carry on your legacy, carry on your fortunes, carry on the wealth that you're building. But in order to do that, you want to have a wife to do that. So somewhere along the line, it's been pressed upon us that you should have a wife as opposed to you should have some sons. Now, granted, you need one to have the other. True, I get that. Under normal circumstances. But whichever one you say you need, it's the one that you're going to prioritize. And so men are in positions where we're trying to see if you can balance the two. The problem is you cannot balance the two. You can't balance the two. There's no way Jay could have settled down and married B, man, back when he was really, really popping when he was young. So he didn't. He didn't. You have got to have a well made up mind that you're in a position. Mike B hadn't been in the game long enough, man, to be talking about selling down, retiring, man, taking all his energy away from the game. He needs to throw in about 20 years in that thing first. He needs to throw in about 20 years in that thing. So the one thing that you cannot give a woman at any point in life is anything she doesn't deserve. This is a man who's saying he tried to do something. He thought about doing something and he realized that this wasn't the woman who deserved that. See, if a woman gives you enough positive energy, you can pull that positive energy into your life. And just her value for bringing that energy is so high that she fits into your life, because we all need more positive energy. None of us has so much positive energy that we're saying, well, no, take some of that positive energy back. I don't need any more of that. Bring on the negative energy. Not many of us are saying that. So if a woman is bringing that positive energy, then maybe she deserves something. But men always look at women from a different perspective. We don't look at a woman for the energy she brings. For the most part, we look at a woman for her looks. We look at a woman for, what she could do in the house. Can she cook? Can she clean? Can she do all of that? We look at a woman for how much we enjoy being intimate with her, but we don't look at her strictly from her energy perspective. What energy is she bringing to your life? Is your day better when she's around? I won't say better, but is your day, is your zone enhanced when she's around? That's the number one request. That's the number one demand that I have for a woman. When you come around, you just got to enhance my zone. I'm already in my zone. Just enhance it. Bring some positive femininity to it. I ain't got none of that around here. Bring some positive femininity to my zone, and baby, we can sit down and discuss some other things and see what we could do here. But you got to have that positive femininity. All femininity ain't good femininity. You understand what I'm saying? You can go to ATL and find plenty of boys over there with femininity. There, you want that? All femininity isn't good femininity. It's got to be positive energy femininity. And you can't get that. You can't tell that just by the way a woman looks. You can't tell that just by the way a woman dresses. You have to tell that by the one-on-one interpersonal interaction in enclosed spaces. That's how you tell. Because the truth of a woman is going to come out when you sit down and communicate with her. She can play that role in public. She can play that role around her folks. But when you're really sitting down, communicating with her, when there's nothing else to do except communicate, then you'll be able to find out what her energy truly is. Another thing that you cannot give a woman, because here's the thing about giving her something that she doesn't deserve. No one deserves something they don't earn. That's just period. If you got a job and you're showing up late every day and leaving early every day and taking an extra hour on lunch, man, you ain't gonna keep it. Your check ain't gonna look like it's supposed to look. If you're supposed to work 40 hours, you working 30, you're not gonna get a 40-hour paycheck, dog. Unless you're on a salary position, but even then they're gonna be like, man, we paying you for 40 hours, man. They want you to do 50, not 30. You know what I'm saying? No one deserves to be in any type of shape. No one deserves to have any strength, man. If you don't ever lift that heavy, you don't supposed to have no strength. You know what I'm saying? If you don't ever get no rest, you don't supposed to be energized throughout the day. And these are the type of things that we have to understand, that no one deserves something they don't earn. And as men, we got to stop putting women in position to give them things that they don't earn. We have to stop doing that. And unconditional anything. Unconditional love, unconditional affection, unconditional trust, unconditional anything. Man, you don't give a woman unconditional anything. Everything has to be conditional. You get these things under these conditions. You get those things under those conditions. Everything is conditional. I don't even want a woman talking about she giving me unconditional love. Unconditional anything is dumb. Your children don't even give you unconditional love. Don't ever be able to provide nothing for them. Give them bad information and bad advice, then they go do it, man, and they burn them every time. So you have to keep in mind that you cannot afford to give things away that someone doesn't earn, and they earn them by giving you something of equal value in return. Equal or greater value. That's all we're dealing with.
Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Simps claiming that they pimps, but they not though. Alphas up, betas down, it's the motto. Suckers claiming to be players, but motto. Betas claiming to be alpha, but they not though. Now I'm not gonna tell you, man, that you shouldn't value your woman at all. A woman does have value, but you can't overvalue her